Welcome to the Sports Card Lessons Podcast with me, your host, Ken. I'm a retired teacher documenting my hobby journey here on the pod, finding teachable moments to share with all of you along the way. Don't forget to hit me up on social media on Instagram at sportscard_lessons. Hit that follow button. And you can also find me on YouTube by searching Sports Card Lessons. If you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and most importantly, tell a friend and spread the word. Welcome, everyone. How is everyone doing? Another great week here in New England. Great weather. It's turning a little cold now. It's getting cold at night, cold in the morning. Temps are in the upper 60s, lower 70s. You know, the grass was turning brown all summer, no matter how much you watered it because it was so hot. Now it's, you know, you get that morning dew on the grass every morning, and it's like so green, like it looks like it's spring out there again. How green the grass is, and how much rain we've had too in such a short amount of time. But definitely some nice weather up here. It feels like football weather. The fantasy gods did me dirty this week. I went 1 for 3. Last week I was 3-0. This week I was 1 for 3. And the 2 games I lost combined, I lost by less than 12 points. Both games combined, I lost by less than 12 points. And it was such a crazy week because on one roster that I lost on my bench, and if you follow fantasy football, you know exactly what I'm saying. I had Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, and Chase Edmonds. I had 3 of them. They were all sitting on my bench for one team. That was 72.80 points between those 3. And I lost that game by 7 points. So definitely did me a little dirty this week. But you know what? That's what fantasy football is. It's not about winning at the beginning of the year. In any sport, I guess, right? And I'm not like this is a sport, but I guess to me it's a sport. But it's about winning at the end of the year. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that. Every week, I get more and more listeners reaching out to me, sometimes asking questions. And this week, I just thought, you know what? If I'm going to start getting this, I think I'm just going to answer a few questions this week. So later at the end, just a couple questions I'm going to throw that I received this week that I talked to people that I'm just going to answer the questions. But first, let's jump into the quarterback values. And this week I added 2 more XRCs, PSA 10s. I added Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Really 2 reasons why I did this. One, because I'm trying to purchase both of those cards right now, and I'm watching the prices myself to try to get them at the best price possible. And 2, just 2 more guys that, as we're looking at the different quarterbacks, that we could, just have a better comparison of where prices are going. So after week 3, we'll start out with the XRCs. Zach Wilson, BGS 9.5. Last week, Alt had it at 271. And this week, and he hasn't played, he's been injured. I think he's coming back this week. They raised the price. Alt now has it at $302, and it's gone up $31. Mac Jones, XRC PSA 10. Last week, Alt had that at 643. This week, they have it 532. So that is down $111. Card Ladder had it at 793. Now they have it at 420. So that's down 373. So if you follow the football, he got hurt. I heard on the radio this morning, it's 3 to 6 weeks, high ankle sprain. And if you've ever had one of those, they're just one of those things that no matter what you do, you just need time for that to fix itself. I've done that playing hockey. and I know it's like one of those things that just takes so long to heal. So I don't expect to see him back, and if I do, not in great shape anytime soon. Trevor Lawrence Xrc Psa 10. Last week had it at 872. This week 897. He's gone up $25. Card ladder last week 810. This week $1,034. He's gone up $224. Josh Allen Xrc Psa 10. All last week was 2916, and that was the one I was surprised that went down. And he lost this week, but he went up. he goes down when he wins and goes up when he loses, I guess. They have it at $29.97, so that's up $81. So the Justin Herbert, we just have the first price for, because I didn't compare it from anything from last week. So right now, Alt has that at $2,014 and Card Ladder at $1,666. And this is interesting on this card because I follow this card a lot. I'm trying to buy one of these cards, so I follow them on eBay, and I've seen them sell in the 1600s. I've seen people bidding into the $2,400, but then you go to the next page and someone's selling and buy it now for $2,200. So I don't know why people are, bidding over $100 more on one card when, it's not like it's a numbered card. It is what it is. It's a PSA 10 and is that card. So I don't know. It's kind of weird when I follow this card a lot on eBay, and I'm hoping, this weekend, maybe at the show coming up this weekend or the next few shows, I'll be able to find one. And the Joe Burrow Xrc PSA 10, Alt has it at 1336 and Card Ladder at 1615. So that is just slightly below Justin Herbert. So the Patrick Mahomes Silver Prism BGS 9 all had it at 917 last week. Now it's at 937, so that's gone up $20. Card Ladder had it at 937 last week. They have it at 870 this week, so it's actually gone down this week. So it's interesting that Alt has this card going up and Card Ladder has this card going down. Tom Brady Bowman Chrome BGS 9, the 2000 Bowman Chrome, all had it last week at 3668. This week's at 2787. And you remember last week that was our big jumper. That thing went up a lot. Now it's come down a lot. Now the alt value is down $881. The Card Ladder last week was 4904. This week it is 2749. So that's down over $2,000 from last week, just in a week. So that's a little crazy. We're going to keep an eye on that. I was excited last week because I obviously own this card, and I was hoping going into the show this weekend that, I could raise the price on the price tag on this card, but now it looks like it's come down again. So we'll have to see where that is come Friday before the show, when I have to reprice some of these. And that's kind of what it is right now, doing these shows, the way these prices, and this is just over 1 week, but some of these prices, I know all the Mac Jones cards are going to be down, and I have if you've been here listening, I have a ton of Mac Jones cards. And I really have to make a decision what I'm going to do with those, if I'm just going to leave them home, or I'm going to put them on my case with a higher price on it. And when somebody comes up, I'll just say, look, I'm high on it. This is what I'm into it for. So I can't let it go for comps, because to me, it would be taking a loss on it. And that's not what I'm in the business to do. So I went to a local card show this weekend. I actually had made a deal through Facebook with Gio and Sly, the guys over on Instagram at Smith Street Bros. So this is like week 3 of making a deal with them. They always seem to have a lot of stuff, and they advertise, like they're always putting the pictures up, and they're always getting a lot of good inventory. And I picked up from them, and we did this deal. I didn't do it at the show. I did this messaging through the week. And I just said, look, I'll meet up with you at the show and pay you and pick it up. But I picked up, for those on YouTube, I'm going to hold up the card. It's a 2018 Don Russ Optic Josh Allen PSA 9. So that deal I completed with them at the show. So I was going there partially to make that deal and, try to look for a few more deals. I ran into a few people over there at the show. It's always good to see my friend Jordan on Instagram at Zips Cards. He was set up as a dealer, and it was interesting. When I walked up, he said, the table, how the tables have turned. So here I am on the other side. I met him being a dealer and him being an attendee, and now I show up at the show and he's the dealer. So I think it was the second time setting up in as many weeks, because I know I messaged with him the week before, and he did another show up in Massachusetts. So good for him. Welcome to the dealer side of the shows. And he had his friend with him set up right next to him, who I've never met, Paolo on Instagram at Special One Cards, who did a lot of modern hockey. And I probably talked to him for a half an hour over there because I've been just, buying. I like the hockey. I've been buying up hockey, and I just think it's an undervalued area right now. It's nothing I'm putting in my case. It's something that I'm opening and I'm keeping aside now because I just have a feeling hockey is going to take off at some point. Again, I just think it's undervalued. I talked to him for a while about the modern hockey cards and the rookies and the rookie cards. And after I left, by the time I got home, I was thinking, I'd been buying hobby boxes, like 1 or 2 hobby boxes. And I just bought 2 before I went to the show last week. I bought 2 of the Upper Deck Series 2 hobby boxes. And I got some great cards out of it. And I just felt I'd probably purchased 6 or 7 of the Series 1 hobby boxes. And I just found those boxes to be, for all intent and purposes, lame. There just wasn't a lot of special things in there. Every pack seemed to be the same thing, and you're just looking for the young guns. But this one had a bunch of different types of inserts in there. It was a little bit more exciting to open up. So by the time I got home, I started thinking, instead of buying a few more hobby boxes, maybe I should just buy a case. And I did. I ended up pulling the trigger, and I ordered a case of hobby boxes, the Upper Deck Hockey Series 2. So that should be coming this week, and that'll be fun. I'll be looking forward to ripping into that. I saw Ryan on Instagram at Reservoir Sports Cards. I was set up with him at National. We shared a table at National, so it was good to see him. I haven't seen him in a while. He does a live show on Thursday nights, which I kind of tune into to see what cards they're putting up. But it was great to see him in person, and he wasn't set up. He's leveled up so much that his collection is about 8 to 10 cards. So I was asking him, are you going to set up at the next show? There's some of the shows coming up. And he said, I really doesn't make sense for me because I only have a few cards, which he probably only had that many at National too, but he always seemed to do quite well. So always looking forward to seeing what he gets next. He's got some absolute fire cards. But no other deals. Saw a lot of familiar faces at the show, but I didn't make any deals. And I kind of walk around, and I know a lot of the people. I've been seeing them. I used to set up at that last year. I set up at that show, I guess about 4 or 5 times last year. And the dealers there, they know the show, right? They know what to expect. So it's not like you can go in and say, hey, it's a slow day. I'm going to get a great deal. I'm going to go offer 70% comps, and this dealer is going to accept it. It just doesn't happen at these smaller shows like that. And I wouldn't waste anybody's time doing that. The smaller shows like this, they know what to expect. I think a lot of them are buying. I think it's the better opportunity for them at that table is to buy because the tables are not expensive, right? But when you go to the bigger shows and the tables are more expensive and the show's bigger and it's just more of an investment, I think that's where you're able to find better deals late in the day in those shows or day two of those shows where maybe if there hadn't been a lot of sales, people are just looking to make a deal to put some money in their pocket or just to make a deal. Um, so at this show, I really wouldn't didn't expect to get any way under comp deals at this show. But again, I was going to process a deal and just hope. You never know when something might show up. I did a deal on Facebook/Instagram this week with Mark on Instagram at Cardboard Fanatic. Um, and I made a great deal. And I do have to say, this was one of those deals that I knew I was getting a good deal. Uh, and I was paying, PayPal goods and services. But I mean, I don't know. I'm sure other people are the same way. Um, when I'm making a deal, when I'm selling something on there or even buying it, I like there's constant communication because I think the red flag when you're making a deal online is when somebody's not responding back or it's taking them a long time to respond. And I think I made the deal on Sunday. I was watching football on Sunday, not this past Sunday, the Sunday before, and I was making the deal. And the deal was done. We came to a price and I sent them off the money on PayPal. And then I said, Monday came, Monday morning, maybe around, late morning, noontime. And I said, hey, just send me the shipping information or tracking information when you ship it. And I didn't hear anything back. And then dinner time came. I didn't hear anything back. And I was like, oh, don't tell me there's a problem with this. So then I start to worry. And I'm like, do I message again? Do I wait? One of those things. Then I find myself wanting to stalk, to go back and see, in what the post that I purchased this from, if anybody else looked like they purchased from him or whatever. And I start to get a little nervous. And then Tuesday night, or yeah, it was Tuesday, probably after dinner sometime Tuesday night. He sent me tracking information. I was like, oh, thank God. Um, and I think the reason I get nervous is because I spend a lot of time, and I don't know how many people this happens to, but I spend a lot of time going back and forth with people, and I make a deal. I made a deal with somebody this week in a card, and it was a high-end card. It wasn't like it was $100 card, a $200 card. It was $1,000 card, and it came down to where I said, okay, I'll pay you goods and services. And he said, all of a sudden, after like 20 minutes or 25 minutes of messaging, he says, well, I can do the card for 500 if you pay with cryptocurrency or something. And I'm like, what is going on right now? And I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, yeah, pay me in Bitcoin and I'll do it for half price. And I'm like, really? I mean, did you just waste all my time? Like I'm going to honestly believe I'm going to send you Bitcoin and I'm actually going to receive this card that I have nothing to go back on to say that, not like using a goods and services. And then I got into another one, and I don't even know how true this is. The person said, well, all I can accept is Zelle or Venmo. That I've used my PayPal too much this week, and I can't accept PayPal goods and services. And I'm like, really? All right, goodbye. And I think it happens a lot. It's probably happening more often than you would think. That it's happening to me about once a week. So I can't imagine with everybody else how often it's happening to other people. So that's why, and I'll throw this out there, fair warning. You know, unless you really really know a person that you're making a deal with, definitely do it through goods and services, no matter how good the deal sounds. That if if it's not something that you have some recourse to get your money back if you don't get the cards, um, and definitely do it. But this, I want to say, was a smooth deal, right? And I will show you. And again, that was Mark at Cardboard Fanatic on Instagram. So Mark sent me two young guns, Trevor Xrc and Cole Caulfield. And I'll just hold those up. Great looking cards. I also got a Davis Mills red, white, and blue Prism PSA 10. And Jalen Hurts rookie red wave Prism autograph to 149 PSA 9. Let's hold that up there. So yeah, this was a really, really great deal. I should be able to move. Well, I can move the two football cards this week pretty easily at the show. For what, all I got to do is put them at comps if I want, and I make out on them. And the two young guns will go with my hockey cards that I'm storing for now. Other pickups this week. I picked up two Pop Century cards this week. I picked up Tracy Lords to 25. I'll hold that up there, autographed. And Denise Richards autographed to 15. They're just a couple of cards I got a really good deal on. I also picked up. So this here is Diana Ordonez. She plays for the North Carolina Courage in the National Women's Soccer League. She is the favorite for Rookie of the Year. And I picked up this card because it's a nice on-card auto. I'm going to hold that up. So I was excited to get that card and hold on to it and see where she goes. And I also picked up a 2006 Mike Tyson, Allen and Ginter's The World's Champion. So funny story about this card, because I got this card for literally dirt cheap. I came across this card, and the person who was selling it, on the picture, there was a mark next to his, like on one side of the card, next to his head. And it really looked like it was on the card. It did not look like it was part of the top loader. So I messaged the seller. I said, "Is that mark on the top loader or is it on the card?" And he never responded. And then I messaged him a second time, "Hey, just following up, just wondering this mark," and he never responded. So all the other cards had been selling much higher, and this one was listed at $29.99, and there was one bid on it, and all the other cards are selling much higher. So I thought to myself, I could get this card pretty cheap, and if the mark's on it, if it's on the card, then it's on the card. But at least, I didn't spend the fortune trying to figure it out. I threw one bid on it, and I got the card. I won the card. And when it showed up in the mail, the card showed up absolutely clean. Pulled the card out of the marks. The marks from the picture were on the top loader, and they weren't on the card. So this card is absolutely clean, and it was really pretty well centered too. So I'm excited. I'm probably going to send that off to be graded. So I talked earlier about getting questions, always getting questions. Listeners always reaching out to me, and I thought, hey, maybe I should just start answering some of these, on the pod. And I want to put it out there too. My answers, I guess it's a disclaimer, right? I mean, the answers I've given you are just what they're my opinion. They're what I think. They're what I've been through. They're not the end all. They may not even be right for somebody else. When I jumped into the hobby, I made a lot of mistakes. I made mistakes people warned me not to make, and I did. And I learned my lesson on a few of them, and other ones that I got a little lucky on. I'm kind of a lucky person. People tell me that all the time. I feel it. I don't jump into breaks all the time, but I get a feeling about jumping in on a break, and I jump in, and I generally pull a really nice card. Um, so I'm happy about that. Uh, I used to buy and rip a ton of wax. And I kind of learned my lesson on that. I love the rip wax. I absolutely love the rip wax, but it's I think everybody does. And I'll tell you, I like people in my household. If I get some boxes of wax, I'll even say to my wife, "Hey, you want? Oh yeah, it should be right there. I'll open this up with you." When I was in North Carolina and we went out to the store and I bought a box of cards from a sports store down there, and I came home. Not only my wife but my daughter and my granddaughter is like, "Hey, yeah, I want to." So I think people just generally like to open up those packs of cards. I think it's just fun because there could be something unbelievably exciting inside, right? So I think it's exciting for most people. Um, but anyways, shout out to Dylan on Instagram at Dylan Westling. And just kind of, I mean, there was a lot of questions, a lot of back and forth with Dylan, but just looking for the best way to jump into the hobby. And basically, we all have our own path. Like I just said, we're all going to make mistakes and we're going to learn from them. But what I try to stress to people is make sure you're having fun doing it. Do what you like to do. Do what you love to do. Right? Set a spending limit that you're comfortable with, and then figure out what you can do from there, right? Because I'll see people that are buying cases and cases of hobby boxes and ripping them all open and getting into every break. And there's a new thing now that I know that somebody does, that he buys these. I'm not even sure what the name of it. They're repacks. He buys these repacks. So there's like, 25 repacks, and he's spending $1,000 on them, and there's going to be, some low end $700 cards and there's going to be a couple high end cards in there. And he does that. And I mean, that's his means. That's what he can afford to do. I wouldn't, it's not that I couldn't afford to do it. It's not what I want to do. It's not where I want to put my money out. If I'm going to spend $1,000 or $2,000, I'm going to buy a card that I can put, right in my case or put in this wall behind me. So do what you love doing, but just stay within your means. Um, And if it's to buy wax, if it's to get into breaks, if it's to buy singles, if it's to buy slabs, invest where you want to invest. As long as you set a spending limit that you're comfortable with, then you'll get an idea of really what you're having fun, what's making it fun to you. So when I first started, to me, opening up blaster boxes, that was fun. I like doing that. So I was spending a lot of money. I can remember on Don Russ blaster boxes and opening them up. But I was starting to do shows too. So I was able to take all those cards. If you remember way back to my early seasons, one or two, when I talked about the soup box. Right. So I was taking all the cards that I didn't want, and I was putting them in the box and reselling those. So I was making some money. It wasn't complete losses when the boxes, didn't have the cards that I was looking for. Um, for me, if you want my honest opinion, what makes the most sense is to go out and buy the card you want. Identify the card or the cards that you want, figure it out, and go buy them. I mean, that's money well spent right there. Something else I've learned is goats and Hall of Famers hold their values. Everyone else is a lottery ticket. Everyone else is prospecting. And there's nothing wrong with prospecting, but just be prepared to sit on those cards, for long-term investments. Uh, if you have a low budget getting into the hobby, I would say identify the cards that you want to get. So let's just say you're jumping in and you're a football fan, right? So right now, reasonably priced, We know football, it's all about the quarterbacks. I mean, any of this last year's quarterbacks, their rookie cards. Now, it doesn't have to be a National Treasures, on card auto. I mean, who can afford that? I can't even afford that on some of these guys, right? But you can go back and get like a Don Russ rated rookie card, an Optic rated rookie card. You can go out and start, relatively cheap. You can buy these cards. And start your collection from there. Your collection has to start somewhere, right? It has to start somewhere. So why shouldn't it be there? Why wouldn't you, um, A, collect the cards that you want, and B, if you're looking for something that in prospecting, I should say, that a card that could really jump up, right? It would be in the quarterbacks. But I know a ton of people who don't collect quarterbacks. They collect linemen, they collect running backs, they collect wide receivers, uh, defensive players. It's whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you happy. If you find, if it's your team, if you're a fan of the New York Jets or the New York Giants or the 49ers, maybe you want to collect all those players. But whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you feel good, that's really where you should collect, what you should collect. How to do it? Very easy. Very easy. You could buy some boxes. You could go online. You could go to eBay. You could go to Facebook Marketplace. You could even go to your local shows. I mean, any of the local shows, there's singles set up in boxes, table after table of singles and boxes. And I would probably suggest that would be the best place to start, would just be at the local shows and going through some of the singles and the boxes, because that's where you're going to find the cards the cheapest and you don't have to pay shipping on them. Nothing wrong with prospecting, but it's a long-term investment. So just stay diversified, right? You should be fine. Shout out on Instagram, ML Football Cards, and that is a Z at the end. He reached out to me asking about the best way to get wax. And I've talked many episodes about getting wax. And what I tell everybody, any way you can, right? Any way you can get the wax reasonably priced, because we know stuff gets so overpriced. Once the first person gets it for the retail price, it doubles and triples from there down the road, and everybody needs to make a few dollars on it. So I always say any way you can. I'm going to list out a few of the ways I presently get my wax right now, but the wax I get now, I'm holding, right? I'm just keeping. I'm hoping that wax is going to double or triple. I'm just buying these sealed boxes now as an investment. So Target website every other Wednesday morning, and as I tape this, it is Wednesday and it is the 28th. So today is the off week. So next Wednesday will be the on week. Every other Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, I get up, I jump on YouTube, I search Target Drop, and I follow Vikings95, who will have a live video going. And he posts the links up to anything new that's about to drop at that website. And I take those links, I drop them into and then you hope to hit it, right? So I got lucky last week. I got the select hanger boxes. I got 9 of those last week. And 2 weeks before that, I got some select blaster boxes. No guarantee you're going to get it. But if you're there and you kind of listen along what's going on, and as soon as they drop something, you just jump on. And I also tell you too, it helps to have a red card, a Target red card. And I'm not making any money on this, but you get free shipping and you get a faster checkout with the red card. So I went out and got a red card. So I was able to buy, and 5%. I think you get a discount too. It's like 5%, 5% discount and free shipping. So it's really not that bad. And if you pay the card off at the end of every month, it worked out well. If you keep it and you hold the balance on it, then it was all for nothing. That's another one of my tips of the day. Fanatics website. I go there a few times a week. I'm just looking for product drops. And I just do it for football. And if I'm lucky enough to find it, whatever usually the max is 8, cut the max in half and just ask for 4. No one have I ever talked to got a product drop with 8 boxes of anything. And I think they kind of weed those out at the very beginning when they're selecting lottery people. I mean, I'm sure somebody gets it, but nobody I've ever talked to got it. Someone told me drop your numbers down to half or less. They say you're even more guaranteed if you only put 1 or 2 in there. I drop it to 4, and I've hit the last 2 dropping it to 4. So hopefully that'll help you there. Facebook Marketplace. I go through there a couple times a week, and I'm just looking for local guys. Now I found a few local guys that I know that I've regularly purchased from. So I kind of know what I'm getting for a deal, and sometimes I want a better deal, right? So, I'll just give you for instance, somebody I know usually sells the blaster boxes of football. So he had a lot of the Prism, and I had bought some Prism from him, and he had the Select now, and I think he ends up getting like 3 or 4,000 boxes. Not sure exactly how he does it, but I messaged him. I said, "Do you have the Select?" He said, "Yeah, 45 each." And I said, "I could do 38. I'll take 10 and I'll be over with cash." And then he responds back, "Fine, I'll see you later." Right? So at $38 for me to get a Select blaster box that are, probably at $29.99, and then after tax, I'm what am I paying? A $6 or $7 premium, maybe less. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Because I'm able to buy 10 of them and I don't have to worry about jumping through hoops to get it. But you should be able to find somebody like that in your area that does that. If you look around enough and you buy from one person or from another person, if you have to start paying shipping, to me it's just like it's not even worth it, because you're spending so much. Once you add shipping on there, you're spending a ton of money, right? So if there's somebody selling it for 45 and then $5 to ship it, you're spending $50 on a box that retail will cost $29.99. By that time, it's you really need to love doing it to be spending $50 on a $30 box. Just my opinion. As far as the hobby boxes go, recently I've been buying them from Dave and Adams. I don't know if it's right, if it's wrong, but I was getting really good deals on hobby boxes, and I would notice I'd open the box and there'd just be crap inside, right? That there was nothing in there. And someone said to me that I kind of keep that in my mind now too, that, if you're buying a hobby box from somebody, just make sure they're not a breaker. Because a lot of the times that, people will know, when all the goods are gone. Whether it's true or not, by the amount of boxes they open up, whether it's true or not, I have no idea. But I just feel that if I buy it from Dave and Adams, or if I can get it from like the Upper Deck website or the Panini website, I'm not hitting all the time, but I'm getting some decent hits out of it, and I'm kind of getting what I want out of those. So I leave the breakers their boxes, and I try to get my boxes from, and when it comes to hobby boxes, the prices are pretty much the same. Even on eBay, I noticed if you go on eBay, um, most of the hobby boxes where you'll see that the blaster boxes and the mega boxes, the prices will fluctuate all around. But I think the hobby boxes, and because they're more expensive, they stay the same. Um, I've only purchased football hobby boxes from the Panini website, and I've been purchasing the hockey and the soccer boxes from Dave and Adams. So for whatever it is, that's what I do. If you spend over a certain amount, it's free shipping. Um, and I just think I get a pretty decent deal from them now. Um, at the end of the day, right? Wax, wherever you're buying, it's a lottery ticket. It's an absolute lottery ticket. And if you figure out the price of a hobby box, um, and really, when you think about it, the repacks, I mean, that idea is really just what Panini and Upper Deck are doing anyways, right? They're putting out, let's just make a price, $1,000 price on a hobby box. So if you open that up and you're only getting $100 worth of cards out of that hobby box, somebody else has opened that box up and hit the $50,000 card somewhere else, right? So it's literally kind of the same thing. It's the same idea. Um, so are you lucky? Do you feel lucky? Do you think you could be lucky? You could take chances on hobby boxes, but if you're buying a hobby box for that $1,000, and the card that you want to get, say it is a rookie quarterback, I would go look at the cards that come out of that box on the average to see what the price of those cards are. You know, uh, say if it was a Mac Jones card, and I've seen a hobby box, I've watched breaks where they've pulled out, out of a box that cost $1,600, and they pulled this great Mac Jones autograph numbered card out of there, patent, RPA, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, that's a beautiful card." Then I'm quickly looking it up online, and the card's selling for $750 or $850. And I thought to myself, "Holy heck. I could have bought the card and saved myself $800. I didn't even have to buy the hobby box. I can go out and buy that card straight up." Right? So, if you know what you're looking for in your mind when you're buying, like if you're saying, "Look, I'm shooting for the moon. I want that $10,000 card, and I'm gonna keep, and I've got the means to do it," then God bless you. Have fun with it. But if you're saying to yourself, I really like a Mac Jones RPA and I want it to be a prism, um, you could probably buy one for the cost of the hobby box or less. So I would definitely check that out first. Upcoming shows. Yes, finally, this weekend, Springfield, October 1st and 2nd. Looking forward to this show. Hopefully the crowds will be big for the show. The Hofstra show in Long Island, October 16th and 17th. The Mohegan Sun show, November 19th and 20th. And now Laz has a second show. So he has the Garden State show in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, December 10th. And then just about a week later, a week and a day later, he has the Big Apple Trading Card Show at the New Yorker Hotel in New York City. And that's December 18th. So there's back-to-back Laz shows. So we'll see you back here again next week, and I will recap the Springfield show. I'm sure I'll have a lot of good content for that. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and if you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and most importantly, tell a friend and spread the word. Until next time, be good to yourselves and everyone around you.